Good evening, people. Good evening. Yes, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. Yes, today is April 22, 2022, and the time is a little after 10 p.m. Well, she said good evening or good night. Yes, you're looking at my screen right now. This is Spirit Journey. And this is my second live stream for the day. Yes, I hope you all are doing well this beautiful, beautiful Saturday night. Yes, good evening, people. Who's that there? Hey, Cam Cam. Good evening, Cam Cam. Good to see you. Yeah. Yes, I hope you're doing well. I hope your day is going good. I just saw a wonderful movie. I've seen it before. This might be the third time my watching the movie. It is called Chocolat, and it's with Johnny Depp is in it. Yes, I was thinking about Johnny Depp again today when I turned on my computer, and on YouTube they're having a deluge of news outlets discussing his civil trial. He is suing his former wife. What was that? What's that word? Defamation. And I just started thinking and reminiscing about certain things. And it's Friday. Um, it came to my memory that Johnny Depp was in this movie called Chocolat. It came out in 2000. And I love the film. It's like an artsy film, those European artsy films. Not everyone loves it, but this one is like a semi artsy film. Um, yeah, Johnny Depp doesn't have a big part in it, but he has a significant part. It everybody has their place in the movie. And this one, I'm sorry, when I'm talking, my hand is shaking. Let me just reposition it. Okay. So I hope you can still can hear me. Good evening. Yes. Yes, it's called, yeah, Cam Cam, how you doing? Yes, this movie is called Chocolat, like chocolate. Um, this actress that you see on your left, I'm sorry, it's a little blur the film, the monitor. Yeah, this is my monitor that has the pitch, a frame of the film, two actresses, and the main character is the one on the left. She's a chocolatier. And my interest in doing this live stream, yeah, it's a reminiscent of a lot of things. Um, I think my way of coping through things, life is happening so fast now. It's like things are moving so quickly. Um, a lot of things are happening to people that I know, uh, people um, in media, things in their lives are changing. And sometimes you think back at a time when things might have seemed a little bit more pleasant. And so for me, when this movie came out, this is, Johnny Depp in it. He does have a big, big role in it, but essential. And I thought he was good in it. I liked it. Okay. Yeah, I like these artsy films a lot. It's just for you to escape into, escape into fantasy, escape into dreaming. You're in another place at another time, and I think that's why I like them. I don't take them seriously, but it's just you go with the flow of the movie. You just absorb. Sometimes you might focus on maybe what they're wearing, what they're eating, how they're speaking, their accent, uh, the wallpaper, the shoes, etc. Whatever what captures your fantasy, that's what you look into, when you watch these type of movies. Now, this movie was made in 2000. And yeah, I wasn't even in New York City at that time. This is 22 years ago. This movie came out 22 years ago. But I think it's still relevant, this film. It doesn't seem so um, long ago when I look at the characters. But, Johnny Depp does look much younger in this picture than what he does now. And the lady also has changed. But I love her character in this film. Well, little note about me with this. See, this movie touches me in for different reasons. And again, I mentioned Johnny Depp was in it, and I saw this film. Um, I had it. I had to take. I think I saw this film when I was in school, and I had to take a French class. And oh, what happened now? Oh, yeah, cause yeah, the movie is in English. Maybe it wasn't this one, but I was taking a French class, and I was watching French movies to help me get familiar with the sounds of the language. And this actress was in it. It was all in French, and the actress is the one that you see on the left. Her name is Juliette Binoche, something like that. Binoche or Binoche. Yeah, I think Binoche. Yeah, she's in a lot of movies. I don't really see her in movies now, but in the 1990s, um, and early in this millennium, she was in popular movies. And I think she's a fantastic actress. Very, very nice. I really enjoy her work. And yeah, the other movie that she does is called Jet Lag. And Jet Lag, yeah, I not download, I purchased that movie today also. Yeah, this movie that you see on the screen, Chocolat, um, I paid for this movie on iTunes. Just, just making sure. Sorry about that. I had to move the mouse so that the screen won't go black. Yeah. Yeah, this actress was in the movie Jet Lag, a French movie. It's in French, and you can get the English subtitles. And I think that's where I first learned of this actress. So I really liked her in that movie, Jet Lag. It's a little love story. She's actually funny. Um, it's very good. And yeah, I suggest you watch that also. If you just, one of those, girly days, you just want to sit back, relax, act silly, have something nice to drink, and watch the movie Jet Lag. It's pure fantasy. It's not too risque. It's funny. It's a funny film, and I don't take the characters seriously, but it's good though. So I think when I saw that movie, Jet Lag, um, I must have looked around for other movies she did, and this one, Chocolat. And so, well, what is this movie about? And what are the different angles that I found very interesting in this movie? Um, well, she is a chocolatier. She makes candies out of chocolate. She makes chocolate cakes, bonbons, you know, um, and it's fascinating. I mean, she's probably not actually making the chocolates, but um, they have her, uh, you know, working and mixing the chocolate. And why I found that so interesting, those of you who are here, well, I used to make candies, chocolates. I told some of you guys, or some of you may know, that I did go to cooking school, and in an externship, I worked at uh, a small um, candy shop. He made fine chocolates. Yes, his work was very good. He was actually a Canadian, and so it was him, the receptionist, his assistant, and me. So what was that? Like four people. So that was it. And and I was learning how to make chocolates. And when you make chocolates, it's like you get kind of immune to chocolate. You chocolate has chemicals in it, and I presume that the aroma of the chocolate, I think, gets in your system, even in the air. And I had no desire for chocolates working there, absolutely none. Yeah, it's one of those things. But I respect the making of a fine chocolate. Yeah. I think I was there for about 4 or 5 months. Yeah, I started in the summer and I ended in, I think, December. Um, it was a great opportunity. And yeah, I worked in, the the back room. I learned how to melt the chocolate, um, how you shape it. You get a mold and you can shape. You coat the mold with the chocolates, and you have to cool it a certain way so that you don't get these blooms on it. The bloom is this. It looks like a white powder that forms on the outside. It doesn't make the chocolate look pretty. It makes it dull and but it's absolutely, edible. You can eat it still, but it doesn't look pretty. And that's because it didn't cool a certain way. So you want it nice and shiny, and if it's a dark chocolate or milk chocolate, you want it nice and dark and shiny. Um, so yeah, so I was able to relate to this film and watching her milk the chocolate, stir the chocolate and make the candies. It is an artwork, and it's hard work too. So I was like watching the actor, and she was very, very believable for me. Um, and that's what made it so interesting. This film just pulls you in. You feel it's real. I watch it and it looks real to me. And I have to keep telling myself this is just a film. These are paid actresses. But when I watch it, I feel it's real. You know, um, they 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 create a character, and the main character here, Vivian, I think her name is. Um, she's very sociable, and she has a little girl, maybe like 11 years old, and she is like they're like nomads. They move from town to town, and I know about that too. I know about things like that, about moving a lot, and you sometimes feel restless, or sometimes things happen in the community you live in, and that is what happens to this woman here. the character. She moves from town to town with her daughter, and she sets up shop making candies, chocolate candies. And I find it fascinating how she invites the people into the store and how to break the ice. She engages with them in a way to, because they don't know who she is, and you know yeah, she also had arrived during Lent. So in some Christian denominations, they refrain from eating or doing certain things of pleasure. Uh, and then after Lent, and Easter comes. And here, Easter was just last week. Was that last week? Or this Sunday that just passed? I forget now. Was it this Sunday? Let me know. Was it this Sunday that passed or the week before? Please let me know. But yes, so that's where this movie takes place. It's supposed to be in the 1959. It takes place. The characters, and she arrived in this French town, a typical town, little stone houses, and in the center of the town you have a big church, a church that's real tall in comparison to the buildings. And in French towns, that's what a lot of them are like. And I do come from a French background, and that's also what I think appeals to me in this movie. And I had visited uh, this island in the Caribbean called Martinique, and that's where my mother's family is from. And I had an opportunity to visit there twice. And yeah, the towns, look very similar. And I thought it was really exciting. And everything's compact. Everything's like next to each other. What would constitute a town? You have the church in the center, a post office, a pharmacy, you know, things like that, a jeweler, little things that the community might need. And I said, wow, this is what a community is supposed to look like. I was fascinated with it. I like it. It made sense to me. And so that also appealed to me with this movie. If you like to see towns, little like a little town, and again, it's just for fantasy, yeah, a lot of these buildings actually are not warm in the winter, and you get a cold draft. So, you know, so it may not be as pleasant, to live in it, but it's very just it emits a lot of imagination for me, and it reminds me, it makes me feel like a child again through role playing, like I used to play house. And so when I see these things, it just brings me back to my childhood. Certain things that I did like about my childhood. And she has a little girl, the character on the left. In the movie, okay, I have to move the mouse again. Sorry. And for her to cope moving so much, as I had mentioned, she has to, she invented a little friend, like they say that little children, they make up invisible friends. And her friend is a kangaroo, and the kangaroo has a hurt leg. So it's hard for the little kangaroo to move about. Um, but as you see in the movie, you learn about, what's happening with the little girl. Um, you learn that you know she's very good at making friends. She goes out her way. She even uses chocolates to uh, get friends. She's, hey, anybody like sweets? And she has the chocolates that her mother made, and it's all innocent. but it's adorable. A little girl's just trying to cope with life and make the best at a situation. So yeah, the little girl invents this little kangaroo friend, and rather than saying that how she feels, she said, "Oh well, she has a name for the kangaroo. I forget the name of the kangaroo, but she said, oh, so and so wouldn't like that, or so and so this or that, and blaming the kangaroo for why she does or doesn't want to do something. But I think it's adorable. It's real. The little girl doesn't want to really make waves, and it's an interesting character. Um, I thought the character was well developed in as the movie progresses. So, so this woman again, she's new in town, and she comes at a time where Lent, and people not supposed to indulge in sweets and things like that, and uh, it's a small town. Probably looked like a town of maybe 70 people or something like that. And they're all different ages. You have the very old and the very young and everything in between. And people went to church in those days, and all what you see is not real. And what's wrong with the town is that people aren't allowed to be themselves. They're not allowed to just relax and be themselves. Everybody has to pretend. And eventually they're going to snap. But no one is saying anything. No one wants to change. They just biting the bullet. And so when this woman, that you see on the left, arrives in town, her presence shakes up everybody um, right away because, for one, she has a child and she's never been married, and that's a taboo in Catholicism. Yeah, they're primarily Catholic. And no, the movie's not about religion, but it takes place in a little town, and it's in the 1950s, and people basically were into religion in small little towns to, you know, control them. Um, but this woman would actually really be a blessing to the town. And I feel that I learned a lot from this character. I mean, the character seems so believable. She's non-judgmental, and that's what I like the most about her. She is learning little secrets about everyone, but she's mature enough to um, keep it. What do you call it? Private, and not share it with others. And I respect the character for that. Um, even though she's not a religious woman, but she believes in harmony and togetherness. And yes, she's a single parent. And yes, she has to earn a living, and she makes chocolates. Um, and she is put under trial, so to speak. And I was amazed how she coped with the different characters, and who hates her guts is like he's like the mayor of the town. Again, it's a very small town, and he is a little bit of a bully in a way. Well, yeah, he's a bully by him exerting control over the people, and he's oppressive. But everybody got to listen. Everybody's playing, trying to play by the rules. They don't want to stand out. And she learns that he's gossiping. The mayor, the little town mayor, is gossiping about her, horrible things. And to top that off, the town gets a new visitor. I think they were supposed to be like gypsies. They're like wanderers. They live on a boat. There's like a little makeshift boat, and they play music and they do circus stuff. And the mayor of the town does not want them here, and they do a boycott. But you learn about the different characters through this woman. And this woman to her right, I mean, to my right, um, she is a grandmother. And she has a daughter that lives in town who has a son. And she never got to see her grandson. And you learn about the conflicts that they have. And basically, their conflict is the mother is this mother, the grandmother, embarrasses the her the adult daughter, and it's about conformity. The grandmother is non-traditional. She's a hardy woman. I think she might have been a businesswoman, and but her daughter is ashamed of her. And you learn later on at the end of the movie that she's a diabetic. And with diabetics, you're not supposed to be eating all those sweets and cake and stuff. And she didn't know, the woman to the left didn't know. And in the, towards the end of the movie, the daughter's upset with the mother. Um, her daughter doesn't want her involved with the grandson and does everything to avoid so-called contamination, bad influence over the son. Um, but it turns around at the end. And it turns around for many reasons. Um, one of the other characters in the movie, he's an abuser. He has a wife, and he physically abuses her. And the mayor, it comes out that she's being abused, and she sought refuge with the chocolatier lady, and that's supposed to be a big scandal. So when the mayor comes and finds, hey, why did you take so and so's wife away from him? She said, well, look at her, and shows that the woman is bruised, was beat up, the guy's wife. So he felt it was necessary, to save the guy, and thinks that teaching him about religion and having him wear nice clothes will transform him. And of course, it doesn't work, and he actually comes back and tries to choke the lady that you see on the left. And it's like one job after another. So it's really interesting. Um, yeah, it's like what did it say? Yeah, remember a couple of days ago, well, Biden is said to have say this saying about what is evil, that the nature of evil doesn't change, it only hides, and when air gets to it, it just gets manifested, something like that. And yes, you cannot destroy it, what hatred is. And this town is filled with a lot of biases, restrictions, and fear. And then they need to be liberated. And that's what I like about this movie, that it's really about liberation. It's not about, even though the people later on start to slowly relax in themselves and start to enjoy one another. And in the process, you have a manifestation of hatred. It comes up. And when goodness wants to do good and do the initial uh, introduction, there's a lot of resistance, and the hate is manifested. And so they all the characters in the movie have their own demons that they have to deal with. And even she, the woman to the left, um, I think, yeah, I think all of them in it go through a deliverance and a growth. It's really amazing. Um, in the end, like it turns out in this story, like there was a really nice scene between mother and daughter. The uh, lead actress here on the left. She had the little girl, and the little girl keeps saying to the mom at bedtime, "Mommy, could you tell us a story? Tell us a story about grandma and grandpa." And it's an interesting story, but it shows a lot about them. Um, in short, um, the lady's uh, father here, um, I think some type of official from Europe, and they were to go on an expedition to Latin America in an Indian, in the tropics in the Americas. And they get introduced to chocolate. And this is the raw cacao. And this coffee, they taught him about chocolate and that it's used medicinally. And it brings out certain passions. And yes, he partakes, and he fell in love with one of the local ladies. Eventually, has a kid with her, and they administer medicinal cocoa to different towns. In the town that he lived, and one day, um, she and their daughter leaving the father behind. And look, what's really interesting here, the woman becoming a child, she also gets a child, and she is doing the same thing. She moves from town to town administering the chocolate. And the chocolate seems like it's a pick me up. Chocolate has amazing, I mean, real chocolate does affect behavior. And she utilizes it as a medicine for the soul. It's really interesting. And ultimately, it is the chocolate and the woman who makes the chocolate. You could think of her as a shaman. Yes, she's wearing, a Western outfit, but she knows how to administer the chocolate. She knows how to figure out what type of chocolate they would like, what flavor chocolate they would like, and it's an art. Again, this is just the character in the movie, but it's really interesting. And isn't life about breaking borders, about removing obstacles and to promote healing? This is really what this woman is about. But it does come with a cost. And the cost is that you have a time and season at a location, and then you move on. And here, so in the generation before, she had to move on for what she thought was time for her to go. She didn't bring her husband for whatever reason. But I gather it seems like maybe it's their spiritual calling, this chocolate. It seems something spiritual behind, for mother daughter. Each generation is carry on to the next level of being the chocolatier and changing lives with people. And so she knows, hey, um, it's time to move on. And they would mention about the wind when the wind starts to blow. Yeah, that was something in the very beginning of the movie. This strong wind blows open the church doors. And why would what is the significance of that? Well, I guess the spirit of the woman or the spirit of the chocolate, the different generations behind that chocolate is coming into town to free the people from religiosity. Religion doesn't heal anybody. Religiosity, I should say. But heart to heart, people laughing and dancing with each other, people helping one another, people intervening when they see trouble. Because, see, people were turning their backs, people were turning their heads when they saw something going on. Here, that woman was being abused by her husband, and no one did a thing, no one intervened. And here, this stranger, new in town, uh, provided her sanctuary. Sanctuary. So it's a lot of hypocrisies with this particular church in town, in the movie, and a very unorthodox woman. So, because here she made it known that she was never married, yet she has a daughter, and she travels a lot, and she's comfortable with different races of people. So she's a spirit of not I don't want to say tolerance. That's the wrong connotation, but acceptance. She takes people as they are, and she's non-judgmental. And I could learn a lot from that. I need to learn that more about non-judgment. I see that a lot in my spirit is I'm very judgmental, and I need to let go. Sometimes I feel very open and everything, but I see sometimes that old nature can creep up, and I become very judgmental. And I don't like that about myself, to be honest. I really don't. Boy, I wonder why the screen looks so blur. Let's see. Mm. Yeah, I hope it's not my fingerprints. Well, that could be it too. It is dawning on me. It could be blur because of my fingerprints. Anyway. But I hope you guys can hear me what I'm saying. So, so here a woman, um, an ordinary woman, um, she has her own calling, and I don't think she really realized how deep her real calling is in the chocolate field. Um, and she teaches. Like the lady that was being abused by her husband who sought refuge, she teaches her how to do the chocolate, how to make the chocolates. And so she comes into a transformation. She is less jittery and nervous, and yeah, she was a thief, that character. And she's transformed. It's amazing the work that the work gave her a sense of like accomplishment, and she was laughing for the first time and dancing and everything. So yeah, she brought in, she knew how to bring people together. And isn't that what you say, very angelic like, would you say like an angel would do something like that, bring people together, healing families? And like the woman on the right here, she wasn't allowed to see her grandson, and she has diabetes, and she doesn't take care of herself. She's a very stubborn character, uh, but she's feisty, and she gets liberated also in the end. She was eventually able to see her grandson and just have a wonderful day at a party, you know. And yes, that party did get, you know, something bad happens to, the house and the boat that they were on. No one got hurt though, but they could have seriously gotten hurt. And it's all about hatred and fear. And again, like what Biden says about fear, that's one of the truthful things he mentioned, that bias or hate doesn't die; it just crawls under a rock. And when you add air to it, oxygen to it, it manifests. Comes out from the hiding. And so that town was hiding under, like a shell, pretending to be something that they weren't, and not enjoying their life and pretending that certain things were going on in their relationship that wasn't going on, and they were embarrassed and ashamed. So it's really interesting. Yeah, this movie really says a lot to me. It ministers to my soul on so many levels. Here I used to make chocolates, and enjoying how they tempered the chocolate and everything. And I liked the presentation. She was, it was fantastic. Um, and she was able to break you know, break walls of separation and to bring this town to healing. Fascinating, fascinating. And as I mentioned, I did work with chocolate. Yeah, yeah, chocolate has properties. I used to, after I graduated from culinary school to learn pastry arts, I did work, I worked in many different places, and I had an opportunity to work at a resort in Florida. And there we had a night called, Thursday night was chocolate night. It was Italian night, I should say. And Italian night, they have chocolate desserts. Everything is chocolate. Everything. And they go crazy, people. Thursday night was crazy night. Chocolate affects behavior. They would just get in a frenzy, and it only would happen when Thursday night, which was chocolate night, chocolate and Italian night. Unreal, unreal. So, oh God, you get real anxious because they're just gonna they get too excited. It's really something. Yeah, chocolate really has uh, things in it that really could, that and the sugar that's in it. That I mean, the sugar helps too, but I think it's the component in the chocolate. Yeah, I did have an opportunity 2 years ago, last month actually. Yeah, it was the day before Easter. I mean, I'm sorry, the day before spring. I was going to the beach with my little doggy Lily, and I saw these ladies wearing, black women wearing all white. And I knew enough that they were probably going to a ceremony. And so I said, "Hello, ladies. Are you guys going to a ceremony or something?" So they said yes. And so then I said, yeah, hey, Nubian, good to see you. Good to see you too. Yes, it's good to see you. Yeah, I'm just doing some general talk, Nubian. Yes, I'm talking about this movie. This is a movie screen that you see. The movie is called Chocolat, or Chocolate in English. It came out in 2000. It's a fantastic film, Nubian. It touches my heart in many ways. You know, I was just telling the audience here, you know, I used to make chocolates. I went to cooking school, and in my internship, uh, I was to learn chocolate making. And so this movie, this woman is a chocolate, you know, chocolatier. And it was fascinating watching her make the chocolates and um, the whole skit. Yeah, no, if you like those artsy foreign like films. I mean, the movie it's made with a lot of European. You know, I think the directors and stuff are European, but it's you know it's spoken in English, but it has it takes the veneer of those artsy French films, and it has Johnny Depp in it. Yeah, again, it's made in 1920. No, yeah, no, wait, no, 2000. I'm sorry, it was made in 2000. So that's 22 years ago, and yeah, it's a nice film. It's about different personalities, and about healing, and about relationships, and about being non-judgmental, and that's something I need to work on. That is something I like to be better at. Um, yeah, a lot of times hurting people hurt others, and this movie, you know, even though it's fiction, I think it's realistic in many aspects because it goes in, it shares with the viewer what is happening between individual individuals' lives. And just because someone is quiet, and just because they might be dressed nice and speak right, doesn't make them happy. And that was a problem in this film with the characters because they had a veneer that everything was okay, but they were imploding on themselves. People were beating up their spouses, and people were stealing. People were just acting out. Yeah, people were just acting out. And this was in a little town. This movie is supposed to take place in a little French town in the countryside. And so just because something is on a small scale, like this town of like 70 people, wasn't that many people. They had problems. They have they had problems. And I think I need to be reminded of that whether a big town or a small town, you're dealing with individuals and they all have different challenges specific for that person. And so that it's a reminder of me that, you know, life is what it is. Um, yeah, and so they the dynamics of this new character in the film um, was going to shake up things in the town, even though her intent was not to shake it up. But she is an administrator of chocolate, or called a chocolatier, and that's a specialty. And she did a really good work uh, for herself and the people that she meets. I really, really like how she spoke to people. She spoke to their heart. She's a good businesswoman um, because she doesn't let them irritate or take away her joy. You know, she has to pay her rent too. She has to make some income, but it's her craft, and that's another thing that I admired about this movie. That people, I'm sorry, yeah, um, people need something that they'll be able to be good at. I think having a skill And doing it well will give you or help develop your, what do you call it? Your yourself. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, people need some. Yeah, self-esteem. People need self-esteem. People here, I notice in the States, we no longer do things to be good at. We just want to do things so we can say we can do it, but we don't do it well. And it's taken away the glory that Americans should have. You know, because if you don't, if you stop producing good things, people are going to go elsewhere. There's only so much people could tolerate. You know, it's cheap, but hey, if it don't work, they're going to get fed up and say, you know, I don't want your product anymore. And they can do that. Yeah. Yeah, this movie was also about liberation. And the part of that movie that really expresses that, yeah, see, this woman's own mother, of course, you know, she's a grown woman, but her mother had passed away. And she kept the mother's ashes in an urn. And she brings the ashes in an urn and carries it in one suitcase. And the daughter, now the woman on the left has a little baby daughter. It's like each generation is doing the same thing. This woman's mother traveled a lot with her. Now that she's a mother that you see, according to the movie, she has a little girl and they like nomads. But the little girl didn't really want to complain. And so she made up this invisible character, this little, like a little animal friend. It was a kangaroo with a hurt leg. And what the daughter was trying to tell the mother is that she doesn't want to travel anymore. Every time she gets, you know, a bunch of friends, she got to move on. She's just a little girl. She's tired. And so an incident had happened in town, and she feels like she has to leave. So she's packing up, and mother, you know, gets the suitcase. Okay, we got to go now. We got to go now. And she doesn't want to put on a coat. And the mother's roughing her up a little bit. And she's, Mommy, you hurt me. And the mother forces her down the stairs. And in the process of doing that, in the scuffle, the mother drops the suitcase, and in the suitcase has her own mother's ashes in it, and the thing breaks. And the little girl feels really bad. So I'm so sorry, Mommy. You know, I'll pick it up, and you know, so she put some of the ashes in this, you know, container. It was a metal container within the urn. The urn had broke, but at the very end, she realizes she doesn't need the ashes anymore. Her life had transformed. She later saw that members of the town that used to be against her are now sticking up for her, and decided to help her out with the Easter Easter chocolates that she was to make. And I think it really touched her heart. And so I think she, you know, she decides she's not going to go. And the wind started blowing, like in the very beginning of the movie. The wind in this church blew open the doors, and the wind was something symbolic. Well, it's supposed to represent the mother, the spirit of this woman's mother, that it's time to enter a new town. And when the wind blows again, then it's time to move. You know, very, very, very interesting. Um, but this time, when the wind blew, uh, she took the ashes of the mother and she lets it open into the air. and signifying that she wasn't going to move anymore. She said, you know, we've been doing this, this migrating um, for years, and let someone else do it now. And she decides to stay. It's really nice. And the little girl now is happy. And she symbolically let go of her um, anxieties. And now she no longer needed the crutch. The little kangaroo, the invisible kangaroo friend with the broken leg. Now the leg of the kangaroo is healed and it hopped away. It's really a sweet film. Really, really fantastic film. The acting is fabulous. I like the ambiance of the movie. Um, it really intrigued you. You feel like you have to listen, and it just because it looks so real. The characters, they're in character. Um, and I saw a lot of myself in the film. You know, that, like, I feel like the woman that you see on the right, she has a daughter that's all prim and proper. I used to dress like that. I used to, when I was in the business world, I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be so many things. And it doesn't, I mean, it's either people going to accept you or they don't. And I think in this journey, like with this movie, you have to accept yourself. Yeah, the mother knew what she was, and she uh, continued on her path. But when it was time to settle down, life showed, she had to be sensitive enough to read the other signs. Because again, she was just about to leave, and she and the little girl gets in a little fight. But it seemed like it was necessary. It's like we're fighting ourselves. So here the mother is fighting her daughter. It's just a little girl. But do we not fight ourselves? I feel like I'm fighting myself these days. We get through challenges. We the past 2 years for me. Um, on one level, it seemed okay. It introduced me to different things in New York City, like the Ramble at Central Park, but it exposed me to a lot of things. Someone tried to take my dog in Central Park on a leash. It was a drug addict who grabbed my dog. I get assaulted last year, a lot of things, and it got me anxious. It got me very, very anxious. And you have to cope. Um, People that was acquainted with had passed away. The 2 years ago, right in the beginning of that pandemic, as I call it. Everybody. I'm not the only one. That's what I'm seeing here. Watching this film showed me that we all are playing a character. Each one of us. I bet if you guys watch this film called Chocolat or Chocolate, you too may see a little bit of yourself in some of these characters. It's a straightforward film, um, and it's good. It's very good acting, and yeah, I saw a lot of myself. Um, the drama in each one has to handle their stresses. Whether you're as old as the woman on the left, or a young woman here on the right, and then the young woman on the left. Each one of us, each one of us, and yes, the woman on the right. she has an opportunity to um, meet her grandson, and um, she goes to a party, and she gets blessed by her son. I mean, the grandson, and then she was ready to pass away. Yeah, she's in the movie. She passes away, and that really got people thinking, and it stirred up a lot of people, but it seemed like it wasn't in vain. Sometimes sad thing happens, but in that process, it brings people together, and um, it brings it brings healing. She got blessed at the end, and it was inevitable because she's a diabetic, and it's like she didn't want to live. Uh, she was living her life the way it was, because she was angry with the daughter and not allowing her to see the grandson. So it says, well, what is life for? Again, progeny. It's just coming to my mind now. One's progeny. Okay, so here that she plays a 70-year-old woman, the woman on the right. She never gets to see her grandchild until at the end. And the gift that the grandmother gets is a portrait, a self-portrait that the grandson does. The grandson is a little thing, like he might be like 11 years old, but his work is beautiful, really good, you know? And so I think in seeing this, see, it's people's job. See, when someone is really in the spirit behind things, women in particular, because women, have babies, right? And they nurture them. And women are responsible for teaching the customs, the language, the religion, whatever what it is, tradition to the next generation. And here, this grandmother is not really allowed to teach that, because the daughter felt, oh well, you're not perfect. She's self-conscious. She wants to look like how everybody wants her to look. She's dressed prim and proper, and that part of that aspect was like myself. I was like that. And so how are you gonna live? How if you live through your progeny, you know, and if you can't, you know, then you die. Then you really die. You understand what I'm saying? You have you have a life, and then you have if you have children, you teach that next generation, and then they teach the next generation after that, and in that way you never really truly die, because you are teaching you're an extension through that other generation. And so the grandmother here is really withering away. What's the whole use of living when you cannot pass on your knowledge to your grandchildren? In this movie, you know. So she, hey, I'll do what I feel like doing, and so she does talk to the lady on the left for the chocolate, and she knows the chocolate, with the sugar, it's not good for her diabetes, but what the hell? Now, again, the woman on the left didn't know that she was diabetic. Okay. She's not that type of person that would do that. She didn't know, but she finds it at the end of the movie. But again, it seems like this had to happen. This conflict seemed to have to happen because it ultimately changed the direction of the community as a whole. You know, these are one of the older people of the community. And, and again, in contrast, the woman on the left, she's a young mother. You know, she's a young mother. And here she is teaching her daughter the trade, so to speak. She may not have the daughter physically do the chocolates, but you know, you could also learn indirectly by, you know, being around it, you know. But she's there to nurture and care for her daughter. And she learned an important lesson, the mother, the new generation, mother daughter. And that generation is know when you have to stop running and to you have to stand your ground. And she had gotten attacked in the movie in front of the little girl. And women came together, you know, the other women came and they defended themselves. So it's teaching women to also protect, you know, care about one another, protect one another, because you may need help in the future. And when she learned the full lesson, when the mother's urn fell on the floor, broke and the thing broke, the little girl was the fault of it, but it actually was really healing. She loved her daughter, and when her mother's ashes fell, it shocked her, but it was like a burden. See, it's okay to have tradition, and you know she wants to honor her mother. You know the woman, the young mother, wants to honor her mother who had passed, and be the chocolatier and go from town to town. And when the ashes fell, and the little girl picks up the ashes for the mom, because again they were going to leave town. And at that point, that's when she saw people helping her out in the because again she was going to leave town because a bad event, and she felt she was to blame of it, and she was going to leave with the daughter, the little girl. But they came together and they made the chocolates for Easter, and so it really spoke to her soul, you know. So they had the lady that was initially being abused by her husband is now kind of like spiritually healed of her trauma, and now learns the skill how to make the chocolates. So hey, maybe this woman, you know, she could maybe focus on her kid now, her little girl, and now she has a helper. The older, you know, the woman who was abused. So she has a helper who could make the chocolates with her. She can spend more time with the little girl. So everybody wins out at the end. Everyone. And she realizes when she sees that, and later that day, she's going to go to bed, and then that wind starts to blow, and the wind represents the spirit of her ancestor, and that it was time to go. But she said nope, and she took the ashes and she threw it out the window. And she's decided it's time for her to stay. Yeah. So there's a time to stay, and there's also a time to go. She already proved that yes, she could be a, you know, tradition, and she was following along with it like everybody else in that old town. So they all stopped what was expected of them. Yeah, the chocolatier said, hey, I don't have to move. I did it. I followed along. I followed the tradition, and the town, the new town that she's in, you know, it's an old town, but she's new in town, I should say. And they pretty much had the same problem. that they just do the same thing over and over and over again, and it's becoming unhealthy. It's becoming unhealthy, and it's being manifested in different ways in the characters that you see in the movie. It is wow. Just when I think, when I'm talking, it's just more revelation coming to me as I'm even thinking about this movie here that you see here, Chocolate, with Johnny Depp in it. Yeah, it came out in 2000, and I think it's still very current for its day. Yeah, they both of these ladies that you see here go through a transformation. One lives on and one passes on, but the one who passes at least got to teach the grandson, who's a little child, and he now has the confidence to, if necessary, move forward in life. It's a really really fun film. It's deep. Oh, okay. You think you found it? Oh, okay. Looking at the comments now. Oops. Boy, why is it so blur? Let me get a cloth. You can hardly see anything. Oh, brother. Let me move the. Try to. Okay. Boy, I don't know why. Yeah, it was getting so blur. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that hasn't happened before, really. Okay, let me look at your comment I just saw. Let me see. Okay. Okay, Nubian. Okay, you said you think you found it. Yeah, it's you can get it on iTunes, Nubian. And yes, Johnny Depp is in it. He doesn't have a big part in it, but it's Johnny Depp. He's in character. He plays a guitar. Yeah, he plays himself. It seems, but okay. Oh, good, good. It was clear. Yeah, yeah. It's a yeah. You can get it on iTunes, and it's a fun film. It had me smiling the whole time. Yeah, it just opened up things for me. I just saw, like, see the movie. It just, you start to see that life is just, we're playing a character. It's just really weird. I just look watching it, and it's just how it's affecting me. We are all playing parts like in a play. We're like in a movie, and I'm watching them, and it's like they're playing a character. I mean, it seems so real, but at the same time, I could see that these are just characters, and we're all in it. We're all characters. Okay, you found it on YouTube. Yeah, I couldn't find the whole movie. Yeah, I had to buy it on iTunes. Yeah, we're characters. Oh, I'm watching Newbie. You were saying about yeah, I need a stun gun. Oh wow, nice. Oh wow, you gonna tell me about that? Oh, I'm looking at the other characters. Okay. Yeah, we're in a movie, and it's like we all. I don't know. This is really weird this year. Do any of you feel the same way? Do you feel like um that that something odd is happening? I mean, it just time is going very fast. Time now is introducing new elements. It's just like I just feel it's so weird. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, folks, this is a fantastic, fun movie to watch. Yeah, I feel very reminiscent watching this movie. Oh, yes, yes, I do. You're saying okay. Yeah, we're. It's like we're at like we're in a test. We're being tested. Yeah, I'm tired of the game. I'm tired of this movie. Yeah, I feel like I'm changing. I'm changing a lot. Yeah, I guess we all go through the process, you know. But life is not all what you see. Yeah, like a show. It feels real, but there are multiple layers of this game. And why I say that, folks, is I share with you all the time about the meditation sessions that I do upon awakening. How is it that we see some of those things that we see? I should say, what I see. I do not do drugs of any kind, I don't drink. And doing these meditation sessions, what am I seeing? Sometimes I'm looking at something, and sometimes I'm in it. It looks like it's as if I'm the one that's participating in the the scene. And the things that I'm seeing is getting more bizarre. I don't know, Nubi, if you saw that video. I did it just a couple of days ago about a vision that I had. Um, it was of a man who had no clothes on, and and obscenity that was there. I'm not going to say what the obscenity was, but I saw this, and I when it like flashed in my eyes. You know, my eyes were closed, but my inner eye, my third eye. Yeah, I was taking a little nap. I was awake, but I had the TV, you know, the video playing. When it flashed in my third eye, and when I saw it, I couldn't believe what I saw, and I opened my eyes quick. It's like the veil, people. This is what I'm getting at. The veil is getting thinner. The veil on this 3D world is getting thinner, and they're revealing what's going on behind the curtain. And was that a couple of months ago I told you guys about, yeah, it was earlier this year, about the alligator or crocodile person. I know it sounds very bizarre. That they were wearing a red robe, and he was standing next to four other guys that were wearing hooded robes of a different color, like a dark color. The, the veil is getting thinner and is revealing truths on situations. Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason for me to even to have seen what I saw, but I know what I saw. It's real, people. These things are real. And I'm wondering the power that these beings have over our mind. What is the dream world? What is it? Is it the like in the movie The Matrix? Could we actually be in something like that? I already know that there's technologies that that you could hear things or see things, and see our brain works like a Bluetooth. That's all this we are. We are a biomechanical machine. And we are, yes, we could be, yeah. Yeah, we are biological machine. And anything could be downloaded to us. Anything. It'd be interesting to find out what determines what we see. When we have our meditations, why do we see what we see? Yes, sometimes you can do a meditation of intent. You say, okay, I want to focus on such and such. But sometimes I don't. I just relax, go with the flow. These are real. I don't know whether we have in multiple lives simultaneously with this current one. Many of the things I see are current. They don't look like there's something for them. They look like that it's something that's now. But I have seen things that possibly could have been old. Some things I've seen seemed older, like the construction workers. I think they were from India, and it looked so real. It was 3 dimensional, and I'm looking down at my feet. Yeah, just the other day. That's I almost forgot this. I had a vision, and I saw little feet, and I looked down at my what's supposed to be my feet, and there were little chubby little feet, like a small child, a chubby child, but it was pale feet, so it could have been like a Caucasian or something like that, and they're wearing these baggy pants. They were barefooted, no socks or shoes. Yeah, that just came to my memory. I didn't know what all this means. I wish I knew who I could talk to about this to try to understand why I'm seeing what I'm seeing. What is the significance? They don't seem to be, oh, sorry, they don't seem to be connected to one another. At least I can't see any correlation with the things that I've seen. But I hope I'm able to decipher the meaning of all this. Yeah, and I'm not alone. I mean, any of you can do it. You just, when you wake up in the morning, just keep your eyes closed. And, as if, you're awake, but you just keep your eyes closed and look as if you're looking through your eyelids, your closed eyelids. And then um, an image or whatever is going to be manifested. Sometimes it could look like a photograph. Sometimes it's like you are participating in the scene, it looks like, or it looks like you're looking at a monitor and you're seeing someone. One time I saw myself. One particular time I saw, I was looking at myself from behind, and I was on this device here going through it. And another time when I was resting, I literally saw in the meditation myself looking back at me. And I thought initially that I must have been looking in the mirror, like maybe my spirit came out of my body. I was looking in the mirror. But my remembering the incident, I it I don't remember seeing any mirror. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the case. So who are we really? Who are we really? I think some of the things that they do show, my batteries are running low. I think sometimes the movies that we watch is to distract us, so we don't focus on who we are. I think people, if you're hearing me, I think it's very important at this time, before they fool you too much, to go within, to try to discover, who are you really? They want us to focus on that we just are a race of people. We're black people, white people, yellow, red people. That's not who we are. But it feels real, right? Yeah, sometimes it feels real to me and I get emotional. But it really isn't real. But they want you to think it's real. I mean, man, when you think about it, it's really foolish. It's really. And we get preoccupied. And you saw today's video. Yes, newbie, if you're still there. Um, I did a video earlier today about, again, someone was using, oh, what's that? It, Obama's, Michelle Obama's brother is suing um, this school where their little children go to, because it's an elitist school for children, and the lawsuit is stating that there's what do you call it, economically um, something, I forget the word, it's he's saying that it's economically biased, something like that. You chose that school, and you chose it for a reason. And I don't want to even go to the argument again, but yeah, I did that live stream earlier today. Oh, what was the point of that? Yeah, yeah. So now the actual incident happened 13 months ago. So why are you coming out with it in the public now, if something was 13 months ago? Because they want to distract your people. They want to get, in particular, black people upset and reactive. See, they're relying on us to be reactive. Don't be reactive. Instead, respond. You're saying, well, what's the difference from respond and react? React is, think of reacting as like a reflex. It's done without thinking or planning. And when you respond, you think before you do. You think of the consequences. And then you act upon the right choice for that moment. That is what responding means. They want you to react and do violent things so they could impose more regulation on you and in your community. Don't fall for it. Yes, racism stinks. It gets us upset. But don't let them try to manipulate you to do violence of any kind. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, so they're going to throw this in the media now, try to distract us again. Well, people, it's time for us to really look within. I think we need to look within to protect ourselves because I believe it's really going to get tight. It's going to be challenging. And I speak to myself when I say that. We have to be grounded in ourselves. No, no, there's no savior outside of yourself. You have to save yourself through revelation of self. You're not responsible uh, about others per se. You're responsible for what you do. And that is a journey. Just like in these characters, it was a journey for all of them. But sometimes some things we're gonna go through some stuff. This is a really, really bizarre world. And I'm hoping one day they'll make more sense to me. Yeah, I wanna live in peace. I wanna live in peace. Yeah. What happened to your screen? Oh, I'm just looking at the note. Something happened to the screen? Oh, really? The scene is dark? Oh, I hope you can see it. Let's see. Oh, okay. I hope you can see the screen now. Could you guys see the screen now? Oh, wow. That's weird. I'm looking at the numbers and everything. Yeah, I'm showing on the screen. I see it. Wow. Brother, that is awful. They're messing up with my video. I see that it's on. And the numbers are going. Wow, could you hear me at least? Really? Wow, I'm looking at it. Is it still like that? You could type one for years. Okay, so you can hear me, but you cannot see me? Is that, I mean, you can hear me, but you cannot see the screen? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's something. Okay, so you can hear me. Um, are you able to see the screen right now? Yes or no? Boy. Yeah, I can see the screen and everything. Sometimes I move the camera. Well, no, can't see it, but I can hear you. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is something else. I'm sorry. May oh wow. Let me I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm just curious about what happened. Okay. That won't work. Yeah, I was just turning the camera around to see what would happen. Wow. Yeah, my battery's going to go down. Let's see. It's complete. Oh my goodness, completely dark. I didn't know what's happening. Wow, I'm glad that you told me that. I don't know what's happening. I can see the screen. Everything seems to be going well. Wow. So I'm sorry to hear that. So, listen, I can't see my okay, you can see your comments. Okay. Wow. I have no idea because everything looks good here, but I appreciate you telling me. Yeah, I'm watching. Everything seems good. Oh, brother. Yeah, I hope it's not because of the low battery. Yeah, a message that prompted on the screen. But yeah, I see that I'm on for about 95 minutes. And yeah, so my battery's gonna go out soon. But I'm glad that I was able to share this movie with you guys. Um, yeah, those of you who wish to see it, and go see it, and let me know how you feel about it. You know, how the movie uh, ministers to your heart. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that I read your comment. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, the battery is getting low. It prompted a message a moment ago. Maybe that's what happened. So I could see it on my end, but maybe it's affecting your end. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thank you all for coming on this beautiful Friday night. Yes. Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy your evening. Um, maybe hey, you guys can do a meditation and go within tonight to find out more about yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, great. Oh, great, Nubian. Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it later on if you know if you like the movie or not. If any of the characters you know is revealing to you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nubian, and my other viewers here. Yeah. Oh, what's it? Yeah, I see Cam had come on earlier today. Yes, yes, it's good to see you too, Cam. So I'm gonna end this live stream. Yes, yes, I'm gonna end this live stream now. I enjoyed doing it very much, and yeah, this is a ride that we are on, and yeah, this is a show, and let's just go within ourselves. And yeah, if we start to feel lost in the shuffle, it just means we have to look more within and to get grounded. Okay? Yeah. I thank you again for participating and enjoy. Yes. Yes, I will try to rest. Thank you so much, Nubian. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, all. Thank you for watching this live stream. Until next time soon. Okay? Bye bye.